You awaken with a throb of pain in your head. A young woman is sitting nearby. Her dark hair is kept from her face with a large conical hat that drapes down instead of pointing straight upward. She's reading a book, dark eyes slowly flicking over the pages before they turn to you as you try to sit up. Hey, go slow. Don't move so fast, okay? You got a pretty heavy knock to the head. Your rain of questions make her brows pinch lightly, and she puts her book down to try and keep you relaxed. Whoa now, one question at a time. I'm not sure what happened to you. I found you out in the sand amongst all the other lost junk. She seems to pause with realization before hastily continuing. Not to say you're junk, I mean, of course not. You were just outside, in the wastes. Your confused expression informs her that you, in fact, did not know what she was talking about. It's okay, I didn't really expect you to know where you are. I'd be more surprised if you did. Why do you keep looking around like that? Are you missing something? You look like an idiot when you look up to the ceiling, confused, and the woman quirks a brow lightly as she answers your question. No, it's just us in here. I don't hear anyone else. She gives you a few simple, light nods as you explain the strange, disembodied voice that you hear narrating the scene around you. A voice? What's it sound like? When you tell her, it just sounds like a woman of some sort. No, tell her I sound like Katherine Heigl. Just do it. Good. She just purses her lips a little and shrugs. Katherine Heigl, like the Primetime Emmy Award winner for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series? Katherine Heigl? She replied, as if reading directly off the Wikipedia page. See? She knows. Interesting. Well, let me know if she does anything weird, or if she goes away. I'm not going away. For now, let's get you up and moving around. Come on. The woman stands up to her full 5'4" of her height, and she takes your hand to give you a good pull out of the bed. Your feet are a little unstable, and you feel woozy. You think you may have a concussion. A concussion? How am I supposed to know? I'm not a doctor. But come on, a walk can only be good for you, she says, cementing the fact that she was not a medical professional. When you ask where you are, a smile creeps over her gentle features. Well, that is a good question. I can tell you that you are perhaps the most lost you could ever be, my friend. Not really an answer. Ask her again. The voice said ask again. I thought you said she was just narrating. I see, she just talks sometimes too. Sounds like too many voices in your head. You'll get used to me. I can't say I'm surprised. Out of everything that could happen to you in this place, a personal narrator is certainly one of the nicer things. All sorts of crazy stuff happens here. It's certainly better than the fingers. She said very concerningly. You decide you don't want to ask about what the fingers could mean, and she continues lightly. Anyway, come on, in here. She opens a door that leads out into a rather nice-looking lobby or lounge bar room. The furniture is old Victorian themed, but elegant and clean. A little dining area is to your right, and a sweet sitting area to the left, with a warm hearth. There was a fire there, but the air felt perfect in temperature. It wasn't too cold, or too hot, or wet, or dry, and you're just now realizing that this seems a little weird. Besides that, there was a few others visible in the room. A large, dark-skinned man stood behind a bar at the opposite wall. He seems to be endlessly drying a glass with a cloth, and he said nothing. On the bar was a large black cat, lying stretched out and grooming his silky fur. His amber eyes look at you incredulously, but they seem to support a sort of cognition, that a simple feline should not possess. And lastly, a woman turns to look from the sitting area. Her eyes were a wild, vibrant green, with a dark black pixie cut of hair. She gives a sharp smile and,
"Holy shit, that bastard survived!"
"I told you they weren't gonna die, Faye."
"Yeah, I mean, you say that, but like, half the sand around them was stained red with blood. I thought you were just being nice."
"Anyway, this is Faye, another random that showed up here like you. The brooding one behind the bar there is Walter. He doesn't talk much, so don't expect him to say much of anything. And that's Shade over there, my feline familiar." She stops, not realizing she still hasn't introduced herself, of which you remind her. "Oh, right, I'm Nicole, keeper of the Timesbury Inn. Welcome to nowhere. So what about you? What's your name?" You open your mouth to respond, but you realize that you don't remember your own name, or where you came from. You just stand there with your mouth open like an idiot. "I see. You can't remember, can you?" "It's okay. You seem to have taken quite a blow to the head by something. It's fine, don't worry, we'll take care of you." You get the feeling she chose her words carefully and didn't say, "You'll be safe here," for a reason, which is a little concerning. "Don't worry, kid. We'll be sure you don't get eaten by a dune worm or fractaled by memory fragments or—" "Faye, don't be such a dick. There's no reason to scare them like that." "I'm just fucking around. Give me a break, Nikki. Besides, have to learn sometime." How many times do I have to say don't call me Nikki? It's Nicole. You've been here for years. Are you doing it just to piss me off?" "Well, of course I am. You always get pissed off and it's hilarious." "God damn it, Faye. How hard is it to call me Nicole?" The two women continue to bicker, so you decide to walk over to the bar. As you approach, the feline's amber eyes watch your movements carefully, even tracking your hand as you move it to subconsciously scratch at the bandages still wrapped around your head. The bartender, Walter, seems to give you no mind as he continues to rub the same glass with his dry cloth. He only turns his pale blue eyes away as you take a seat. He doesn't say anything. He just watches you, expectantly, with a neutral expression. When you finally make an order, his eyes flick from your face up to your bandage and back again, before he turns and gets a drink, soon placing the clear glass on the bar before you. Water. It was not what you ordered, but the stern expression he gives makes you feel small, like a child in trouble, so you take it with a small thank you, before you notice Nicole walking back up. "Hey, sorry about that. You'll have to get used to Faye. That's just how she is. And, she can't really go anywhere, so." She notices your drink and the slight linger of Walter's stern expression. "I see. Walter decided your drink for you. Yeah, he's a little like a dad." This pulls Walter's expression to a slight sneer. "But he's a good guy. Just so you know, we basically have anything you could ever want for food. Well, not basically. We have whatever you want. If it's food you want, we have it." You kindly remind her that you still have no idea where you are. "Oh, right. Sorry, you'd think I'd be good at this by now. Come on, it would be easier to show you." Nicole gestures to the door that seems to lead outside. It looks bright from what you can see through the curtains, but that's all you can discern. After a glare from Walter, you decide to take your glass of water with you and stroll to the door. Now, I want you to brace yourself. What you're about to see is not what you would ever expect. Don't freak out. And with that cryptic phrase, Nicole opens the door. The light is blinding at first, until your eyes adjust. When they do, you freeze there in the doorway. Before you stretch an endless span of soft golden sand. In the distance appear to be towering mountains, and old ruined cities accenting the skyline an unknown distance away. Surrounding the little inn is nothing but sand for miles upon miles. No other buildings, structures, people, animals. Nothing but the sand. Except the sands around you have objects dotted within them. A small knife here, a child's toy there, a vintage mirror reflecting the perfect, mild sunlight. Unless that wasn't sunlight. You look up and see a sky that is not a sky. Directly above you is a slowly swirling vortex. Dark blues, purples, and blacks dotted with stars. It appears to be a galaxy of sorts, and as you watch, a small object falls from the sky and plants neatly into the sand with the other various items. No sun, no moon, yet still perfectly lit. You drop your glass, but do not hear a shatter as Nicole seems to have caught your beverage with a wisp of arcane blue magic. Your dumbfounded expression draws Nicole to speak and attempts to fill in some questions before you can ask them. This is the crossroads of everywhere and nowhere. The in-between. The timeless place. Somewhere only the lost things go. A pit stop, really. At least, for most people. The times very in. She shrugs, as if this were normal to her. Perhaps it is. You finally manage some words in the form of a question. Again, I don't know how you got here, and if you can't remember, at least for now, we won't know. But that's not as important as what you do while you're here. You see, this place is supposed to act as a point in one's journey. Not everyone has the same journey, so of course not everyone ends up here. It just sort of happens that way for some people that have something they need to learn or need help with or something. But even the universe isn't perfect. There's accidents. Like Faye. At least we think she's an accident. She's something anyway. You pause before turning to look at the sand and ask another question. The stuff in the sand are lost things. People aren't the only ones that can be lost. These random items that are forgotten drop in here, just like the great forgotten cities you see off in the distance. Sometimes the things sink away into the sand and are returned to the more physical planes. We think. Oh, but don't try and just dig down deep into the sand. That doesn't really work. Faye tried that once. She made it pretty far down, then suddenly there was screaming, and she came falling out of the sky again. She was lucky I was there to catch her. She emphasizes her words by handing your dropped glass back to you with a comforting smile. Let's go back in. We can talk more. But as you both turn to walk back in, the personification of a quirky wild card crops up out of nowhere with her hypertoned voice.
Hey, so what's fucked up with you? Are you crazy? Did you lose your toes? Have a tail that only shows up on Wednesdays?
Faye. Despite Nicole trying to silence Faye's series of slightly concerning questions, you answer and tell her about the narrator endlessly speaking in your mind. Hey, you could at least sound a little less annoyed. At least tell her I sound like Katherine Heigl.
Katherine Heigl? Like hit actress that played Dr. Stevens on the ABC medical drama Grey's Anatomy. That Katherine Heigl.
I'm telling you, you're the only one that doesn't know.
Anyway, we have plenty of space for you. There's actually endless space here. You're lucky the lobby decided to look so warm and welcoming,
she said, again, rather concerningly.
We just have a few rules, for your own safety, of course. First off, if you go outside, don't wander more than 20 feet away from the inn. If you see something or someone out in the sand beckoning you, no, you don't. Just trust me.
You decide to just trust her.
Next, when we have delivery days, don't go into the third door on the left down the hall.
Oddly specific, but okay.
Walter is the only one that can go into the freezer. We don't have a day and night cycle, so if it gets suddenly dark outside, don't open any doors or windows, and find me immediately.
The cat that's been resting on the bar meows lightly, and Nicole looks over as if being reminded by the cat of something important. And when she speaks, the softness of her demeanor turns coldly serious, sending a chill down your spine.
Oh, right. Never, ever go into the basement.
Your silent nods signal that you understand, but the curiosity drags at your mind all the same.
Don't worry about it. I'm sure you'll be fine. I've been here for years and I'm still alive.
Surprisingly.
I mean, the worst that could happen... Well, you don't want to be fractaled, I guess. That's pretty bad.
Faye shivers as if having remembered something gross. That's comforting. You try to change the subject to something less stressing on your already worried mind and ask Nicole another question.
What we normally do? Well, it's hard to say what we normally or typically do, she says with little air quotes. When we do have company, such as yourself, it's a little different from your situation. They usually have an idea of at least who they are and what they're looking for. No offense. Sometimes we have the disturbances to deal with. Disturbances is an interesting way to put it. Shut up, Faye. Anyway, you'll just have to see. Experience is the best teacher and all that.
This should be interesting.
This has been a lot. Perhaps it would be a good idea for you to get some more rest. None of us are going anywhere anytime soon. You can always try. Maybe the memory fragments will give the newbie a break because they have no memory. Not really worth the risk, Faye. Well, not with that attitude.
There it was again. Memory fragments. Faye had mentioned them a few times already. And you ask about them, but Nicole lifts a hand and waves off the question.
Nothing to worry about now. Go on, you need sleep.
I suppose you no longer need a walk. Nevertheless, you leave the main room and walk back toward the little bedroom with Nicole shooing you on before she starts bickering with Faye again. And soon, you are on your own once more. The oppressive weight of everything that had just occurred pushes down on you. Like gravity, it pulls and draws you into a darkness within your mind, your form huddled tightly into a ball on your bed. This singular person, one that does not remember their own name, one that has nothing in a world of nothing and everything. The dread starts to creep in further and further until...
Don't freak out and spiral!
Nicole's voice can be heard yelling from the other room, breaking you out of your trance. Feel free to ask me anything you like. I don't know. I said you could ask me anything, not that I would have answers. Perhaps that is your purpose here. Maybe. You got so lost along your own path that you lost yourself along the way. You need only find it again. No. Sleep, lost one. I suspect when you wake, there will be more for you to endure.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching this new episode and new series I came up with. Sorry about all the various projects I have. I just love creating things. But don't worry, I will return to all the series. I just had to make this. It was so much fun, and it really got me out of a rut I was stuck in, creative-wise. I just couldn't get myself to make anything, so I was kind of struggling. I really hope you like the idea of this more funny and creepy story with a narrator character concept. Also, it's a new year, and I just want to thank you all once again for the support here on YouTube and over on Patreon. I look forward to this year. I'll see you next time.